And you are listening to centralcoastradio.com. Well, now we're going to take a look at a brand new film that is in cinemas right now. And this film sees Liam Neeson take on the role of Philip Marlowe, of course, a role that's been played by a number of actors over the years, including Humphrey Bogart. In this brand new film called Marlowe, which is directed by Neil Jordan, Philip Marlowe is hired by Claire Cavendish, played by Diane Kruger, to find out what happened to her lover who went missing. Now, for some reason, she feels that her mother, Dorothy Quinn Cannon, played by Jessica Lange, might be involved. And being set in the 1930s, this film and the investigation takes Marlowe through the social period of that time. And he ends up becoming kind of investigating this what would you call it, Harley? A country club kind of thing, where they believe,
Yeah, it's a very exclusive club for the
yeah,
wealthy, well-to-do. Yeah.
yeah. So he ends up investigating what's happened. And of course, the club owners definitely don't want Marlowe sniffing around. So soon his own life becomes in danger as well. So, Harley, what did you think of Marlowe? Because this was one of those movies that for a lot of people's come completely out of the blue. So, what did you think of the film?
I thought it was fantastic. I'm a big fan of the old noir detective kind of genre. So having a brand new Philip Marlowe movie was just, yeah, everything I could have asked for. And it wasn't just Liam Neeson having one of his, wife or children kidnapped and going on a revenge rampage. It was really good. And it really had him do something a bit more interesting than he's sort of been doing. He's kind of been typecast into doing these, you know, cookie cutter type
Yeah.
movies. But this I was so impressed with it, and just the nuance of the character, so good. I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, some of the listeners out there may have read online that some people have been criticizing the film because they're saying that Liam Neeson is too old for the role. I don't think that was the case at all. I mean, Neil Jordan and his screenwriters have adapted this film pretty well to fit in with an older Marlowe. And yes, there is a little bit of a love interest there between Diane Kruger and himself, but it's more it's not the kind of traditional romance that you would see in a film. You almost get the feeling that her character of Claire is the seductress and she uses her sexuality to get what she wants, kind of thing. And in fact, at one point her mother says, well, if she thinks we're together, she's going to want to be with you as well because she wants anything that I've got, kind of thing. So I don't think
And
it
that
came.
that was a really good example, actually, of that relationship they built between the mother and daughter characters, and just the way they've styled Diane Kruger and Jessica Lange in the movie to almost be identical. You really get this sense of, oh yeah, maybe she does want to just, take over her mother's life, but there's so much more to it. But yeah, I don't criticize the relationship or the fact that he's older. In fact, I think the fact that he's playing older than her has really changed that typical dynamic of, where such a relationship could possibly go. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't think it ever becomes creepy like Entrapment. I mean, I know universally that movie is known as the creepy film now with Sean Connery and Catherine Zeta-Jones, but I don't even think that Liam Neeson was too old to play Marlowe. Like I said, Neil Jordan adapted the role to suit an older Marlowe, a Marlowe that would be thinking about retirement and things like that, which of course makes some of the premise of this film even more interesting because if he is thinking about slowing down and retiring, well, there's a lot of people with a lot of money around in this film that could help out that retirement if he was on the corruptible kind of side. So, yeah,
Yeah, there
I
was a lot of interesting sort of offers of temptation for him
yeah,
throughout the film. It's like he doesn't have that safety net of, like a police retirement kind of pension thing.
yeah,
And so all these offers start to come up. There's the offer of the attractive young woman showing interest in him. Then there's potential, we could set you up for retirement. Or if you overlook something, we'll pay you off and you'll be set up. All these little things. And it just really grows and shows how his character is built and what he finds important.
There's only one time in the film where I felt that Liam Neeson's age did show, and I said the same thing about his last film as well. During one of the fight sequences, you really get the feeling that the stuntman is slowing down because he's got to kind of wait for Liam Neeson to throw the punch kind of thing. So yeah, I think and to credit him, like I know it might sound like a criticism, but the guy is in his 70s and he's still doing fight sequences. So you do have to understand that he is going to be
Look,
slowing
he
down a little bit.
handles them well,
Yeah.
so there's no fault there. Like
Yeah.
I,
It's not like
I
it's
didn't
not
really
like
pick too much.
yeah, it's not like he's running up a flight of stairs and having to stop halfway or something like that to take a breather. It's not too
I think
obvious.
I
So
might need to do that.
what did you think about the setting of the film as well? I really love the fact that Neil Jordan kind of captured the same nuance as films like LA Confidential or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and captured that kind of 1930s noir Hollywood, but also puts that kind of yellowy orange lighting and glint into the film as well that those other films do as well.
No, I think it's fantastic. Like I'm sure there would have been directors out there who thought, oh, let's bring it up to the present day and sort of change what it is. No, keep it where it belongs. Back in the 30s and 40s, it's perfect. The styling was fantastic. Just kind of seeing or the architecture and the styles of cars and clothing really puts you somewhere. And yeah, it makes for such a mood and feeling for the film. I think it was really well handled.
Yeah, and the mystery itself works really well. Like Claire's lover just completely disappearing. There's times at the start of the film where I was thinking she's responsible for it. Like she's done it and she's trying to cover up what she's done by pretending to get a detective to look for him kind of thing. So there's so many
Yeah,
different
that's kind
directions.
of an old trope. So I was kind of waiting to see if she,
Yeah.
had something going on there as well.
There's so many different directions that the mystery could go into. And I think by the time it actually starts to get to the point where there's people coming after Marlowe and trying to stop him from doing anything with the case. I think you're so enthralled in the mystery that you really do care about what's happening and you don't want anything bad to happen to him.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing to dislike about his character at all. He's not a perfect man, but his kind of moral compass is pretty firm for the most part, and you're with him for the whole ride.
Yeah. And I think it also shows that a lot of these actors have worked together in the past as well. And crew as well, Neil Jordan and Liam Neeson. I think this is their fourth film together. But also Diane Kruger worked with Liam Neeson on Unknown back in 2011 as well. So yeah, when you listen to the interview that we have with Liam Neeson and Diane Kruger and Neil Jordan, they talk about that and they say that familiarity between them really enhanced this film. In fact, it was one of the reasons why Diane Kruger wanted to make the film was because she has that kind of personal relationship in real life with Liam Neeson and loves working with him.
Yeah, that would absolutely make it for a much better um, performance. Knowing that they've got a dynamic already existing. So yeah, it shows through.
And it's also great to see Jessica Lange on screen as well. And she plays an actress in this. And of course, if you're a lover of classic cinema, you will know that while it wasn't the 30s, she was in King Kong in 1976 and films like that. So when she's playing an actress, a lot of the things that she's talking about, like that her character has gone through career-wise, she's gone through as well. So was there any other members of the cast that you were really impressed with as well, Harley?
Yeah, well, I you wanted to point out Jessica Lange as well. Just she seems quite effortless in her performance. Actually, it's she can turn on the intense kind of heightened emotions without going overboard, and it's she's really interesting in the scenes, especially when she's playing off the dynamic with Diane Kruger as her daughter. There's a real great dynamic there, especially when you get them in a room together with Liam Neeson. Just see how they play off each other. It's a real competition. It's I don't know, mother daughter relationships can be trying, but
Yeah.
but I also really loved Adewale Akinoye Agbaje, who played Cedric, the chauffeur for one of the other characters.
Yep.
He just ends up becoming really important in the end, and even in his first appearance, there's something interesting about him, and you think, oh, this is an interesting dynamic. It's not playing out exactly how I thought it might. And then you realize later on, it's like, oh, he does come back. And then he becomes quite important to the sequence of events. And I just love, like, I don't know, there was something just nice about his character. I would love to follow his character into another story.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm hoping that perhaps they might be able to talk Liam Neeson into playing Marlowe again in a couple of films. I don't know what Neil Jordan's plans are there, but I can only hope because I did really enjoy this one. What are you going to
Absolutely.
what are you going to give this one out of five and why?
Oh, I'm so tempted just to give it five. Look, there are little niggling things here and there, which is just little things about the resolution of the story. I wonder, like it was fine. It's just like a kind of a standpoint of, do I feel that was right or wrong? Or, so I still think about it to this day. It's like, hmm, do I agree with how that worked out? But broad strokes terms, yeah, it all seems to have worked pretty good. And character dynamics, the relationships between them, it gave me so much. So yeah, I want to give it five.
Okay, well, I'm going to give it four. I thought it is a really, really good film. I loved Liam Neeson in the role as Marlowe. I thought there was a couple of little things they could have fixed up, but it's well worth a look. It is screening in most cinemas, so if you want to go along and check it out, check your local cinema guide to see if it's screening near you. But yeah, Marlowe, starring Liam Neeson and Diane Kruger, directed by Neil Jordan. Harley gave it five. I gave it four. Go and check it out. You are on centralcoastradio.com.